Welcome back, survivors, or should I say victims. Kaneki is sick. Not just in lore, he infects the very flow of a trial. Some say he's strong, others say he's broken, but what if I told you he's exactly what Dead by Daylight needs? Yeah, I know. Some of you are already typing out essays in the comments, but hang tight. We're gonna break down why people hate playing against him and why, despite all that, Kaneki might just be one of the best designed killers we've seen in a long time. Let's leap right on in. I'm not gonna lie, Kaneki is already a very controversial killer. And as the #1 Chucky main NA, I know a thing or two about controversial killers. There are a mountain of valid reasons survivors just don't enjoy Ken. We'll start with the giant Maurice in the room, the auto aim. Kaneki's tentacle dash has a strong lock-on that can feel super unearned. You can juke, you can fake, you can throw a pallet, but the dash just snaps to you anyway. And when that happens, it feels like none of your outplay attempts even matter. That's a huge issue, especially for survivor morale. Survivors need to feel like they have a chance, like their decisions, movement, and mind games are making a difference. When you're playing your heart out and still get a hit because the killer's power glues itself to your model, it's demoralizing. It starts to feel like you're not being beaten, you're being processed. But here's the catch. It's not just bad for survivors. It's actually harmful to the killer experience as well. That same lock-on system that gets you easy hits, it also removes skill expression. You're not learning angles. You're not adjusting for survivor movement. You're not rewarded for creative positioning or precise flicks. And this kills the sense of achievement. When you win a chase, it doesn't feel earned. It feels like the game did the work for you. That's the opposite of what makes a killer fun to master. Think about blights, tight flicks, or a huntress snipe. When you land those, it feels amazing. But with Kaneki, the auto aim robs you of that satisfaction. Not only this, but for really skilled players, the auto aim can actually become a hindrance. Oftentimes when trying to latch onto a wall or a tree, you'll instead re-injure an already injured survivor and give them extra distance, lengthening the time of your chase. So ironically, even though his dash feels strong, it reduces the ceiling for what the killer can express, and that ends up making him feel kind of hollow to play at higher levels. But it's not just his dash that's so strong. His vault speed is kind of outrageous. He can vault pallets at lightning speed. Think manual scamper 2.0. It's a manual input he controls. That gives him a crazy amount of control at pallets and windows, and it can feel impossible to zone him out properly. Then there's his injuring leap. This thing hits from way too far. Sometimes it looks like you're totally safe, only for him to pounce in from the next zip code and slap you with deep wound. The range is wild. It really needs a slight nerf to make it feel more fair. Speaking of deep wounds, yeah, no one likes deep wound. It's more annoying than dangerous. It doesn't add pressure, it just forces you to stop playing the game and amend. It's basically a time tax. On a killer like Legion, it acts as some much needed slowdown for a lackluster power, but here, it's just salt on an already gaping wound. Kaneki is also a macro monster. Ken here is a great user of the brutal zoning playstyle, a term named after the perk Brutal Strength, where a killer will force a pallet drop only to break it and then use their power to confirm a hit before the survivor can make it to safety at the next tile. There's no breathing room between tiles. He's constantly on you, and that feels oppressive if your playstyle relies on spacing and map traversal. And while Kaneki might seem manageable in a micro sense, like loop for loop, chase for chase, it's his macro that becomes the real monster. He can injure multiple survivors quickly, rotate between gens with ease, and force constant triage. You're always mending, healing, repositioning. That means gens stall naturally, not because of slowdown perks, but because you're always dealing with him. He's great at controlling tempo without needing regression, and that's what makes him deceptively strong in the big picture. Picture hooking a survivor in the middle of the map and being able to proxy camp from half a map distance away. easily watching over numerous gens and being able to injure anyone even thinking about possibly going for a save, and most assuredly being able to confirm a trade at worst or an extra down when the survivor does make a play. Add in the fact he has a low skill floor, and it's easy to see why he feels oppressive. Almost anyone can play him directly and start applying that macro pressure without needing learned experience on him. But here's the twist. Kaneki is actually one of the most healthy killer designs we've had in a while. One of the great things about Kaneki's design is he actually has build variety. This guy isn't shackled to a single meta like slowdown plus slowdown plus slowdown plus info perk the way so many other killers are. Kaneki opens the door to playstyle diversity, and that's rare in current DBD landscape. You want to go injury pressure? Build around Gift of Pain, Colophobia, Sloppy, and Fearmonger. Constant healing, constant mending. You're not tunneling, you're overwhelming. Want to go full chase monster? Slap on Bamboozle, Enduring, Fire Up, and Dark Arrogance. His vault speed gets even crazier, and now you're forcing misplays at every tile. The point is, Kaneki doesn't force you into a corner. You can play him your way. You can express your playstyle. You can tailor your perks around what you want to do and still get value. That's a sign of great design. When a killer has power but still leaves room for perks to shape the match, it gives them depth, replayability, and personality. It's something we rarely get anymore, and it makes Kaneki feel alive, not just a character, but as a toolkit. Now let's zoom out and look at the state of the game. We've been in a long streak of anti-loop killers: Skull Merchant, Singularity, Knight, Xenomorph. All of them are designed to avoid or shut down chases entirely. This has led inevitably to the meta we find ourselves in now. One full of pre-running, pre-dropping, and holding W. It's all about not engaging. You avoid the killer's power. You don't loop, you just move. Constantly, efficiently, and honestly, passively. The worst part? It's effective, it's boring, and it's turned DBD into a game where no one actually plays the core mechanic: the chase. The result, chases have become stale, predictable, and survivors aren't really learning how to loop anymore. They're learning how to opt out of the chase altogether. Kaneki breaks that cycle. He doesn't deny loops, he forces them. He makes both sides commit to the dance of the chase again. And that makes him, dare I say, fun. Sure, his dash is strong. Sure, his vault is fast, but you can loop him. You can outplay his angles. You can bait out his dash. You can force him to commit and burn his power inefficiently. And as the killer, you're rewarded for smart play. There's a ton of mechanical expression here. Faking vaults, mind gaming corners, using terrain to your advantage, and a whole host of techs many people haven't discovered yet. He's not just an anti-loop hitbox like some other modern killers. He's actually interactive. That creates a much healthier chase environment. Both sides get to play, both sides have room for creativity. This back and forth creates a dynamic chase, something we've been sorely missing in the modern era. So yeah, is Kaneki annoying? Absolutely. Does he have flaws and is probably in need of some adjustments? 100%. But is he good for Dead by Daylight? Honestly? Yeah, he pushes both killers and survivors to actually engage with each other, putting the chase back into Dead by Daylight, and that's something we should be celebrating. But what do you think? Is Kaneki secretly good for DBD, or are you still hoping for nerfs? Let me know in the comments, and if you liked the breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more DBD content. That's all for now, but remember, the fog never stays still for long, so keep your eyes open. The next terror is already waiting.